Hello, YouTuber woobers! I trimmed my beard. Anyone notice? I usually go to the barber, but this time around I just did it myself. So I for the TV in the other room, I have a media computer on it. It's not as powerful as mine. Not that mine is all that powerful either, but it's not as powerful, but it's got Windows 10 on it, and it's got 16 gigs of RAM. And I watch movies on it, and I use it for accessing the internet to watch TV shows. Lately I've been using it for Netflix, which is really cool because I have more features on there that I do on the smart box. And then of course I have the smart box, the Blu-ray player smart box, that I could watch Blu-rays or DVDs or Netflix and Amazon Prime and a whole bunch of other databases that I never really use. So yeah, but lately I've been noticing, since I used to watch almost everything for movies and shows on the smart box. TV is a 720 quality versus a 1080, so it's kind of interesting because on my antenna roof, the one up there, you've seen it in some video that I built and put up there, and I got my Super 6 channels, which is actually not bad. I wish I had CBS, but I don't. And I'm going to ramble in this video, so hope you don't mind me rambling. The quality on the TV antenna for over the air is phenomenal. You basically can't beat it. It's really at its best. And it's really good on the smart box, except there's often a lag where you're watching it, it will stall, you'll get the little spinning world of death, and it'll catch up and then start playing again. Now, when I watch it on the computer, for Netflix, for example, it doesn't really do that. It might do it on occasion, but it doesn't do it very often. And I would imagine it is because there's more RAM in there for it to queue up the movie while it's playing. Whereas the smart box probably doesn't have a lot of RAM in it. It's something to look at when you're shopping for smart boxes. I guess most people are just going to buy a TV, that smart TV, instead of a smart box for their TV these days, because their prices have come down so much. But this is what I have, and this is what I'm using. But I do notice that the quality on the image with the computer watching movies are often, if I'm watching a movie that's stored on my hard drive, the quality looks pretty good. But if I'm watching it online, sometimes it gets a little pixelated. And I didn't really put a lot of thought about why until I noticed that the video card actually only has 512 that's 512 megabytes of storage on it. And I said, I thought that was a 2. pretty sure when I bought it from somebody used that they had told me that it was more than that. And I don't think I really paid much attention. So I looked up the, you go into what you do is you go down to your Windows thing over on the bottom left hand corner, the Windows. You right click on it and you go to Device Manager. That's the quickest way to it. You can get to it through your control panel, but it's a little bit harder. And then you can do is go up and you click on Display Adapters, and it will tell you the model and the name of the card that you have, if you do have one. Now, if you don't have a card, you're running off of your motherboard's graphics, which may not necessarily be a useful thing. So this is a NVIDIA Geforce GT 730, which is a 512 megabytes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my computer. That one over there is, I forget the actual model number for it, but it's ended up being, it's a 512 megabytes of storage, which doesn't give it a lot of memory for creating a good image. If you're doing gaming, the more megabytes or the more bytes that you have on your card for your video, the better you can do for gaming. I don't do a lot of gaming. I basically play cards and I watch TV shows and movies on that computer in there. My computer, of course, I do a lot of different things, but I don't really do gaming. I'm not really a gamer. Outside of Zork, when I used to play that on the Apple IIe, I haven't really progressed to playing other things. And it might change, but you know, that's where I'm at. So this computer here, my computer that I used for, like, I'm recording this video on now, and I do all my editing at home. The TV shows that I do for CTSP, of course, I'm doing those at the studio on their iMac using Final Cut. But the other videos, like this video, for example, I'll be editing on Filmora on my system. So that my system has the GeForce GT 730, which has 2 gigabytes of RAM on it. So, and it supports 2 monitors. I have this monitor that I'm looking at right now, has the camera right in front of it. And then over here I have a 24, I think it's a 24, it might be a 30 inch or a 29. It doesn't say. But I have a TV over here that I use as a second screen, which really kind of works out really well. Really, it works out better than I thought it would work. And that one is actually a 1080, which is probably why it works out so well. And with Windows 10, it actually does a nice job with this video card. It's a 2 gig. So I'm running two monitors, and it's doing well. So I was thinking of upgrading cards, so it doesn't make sense to buy a really expensive card for my media computer. I really only need it to run the TV in there. Just one monitor in there is all I'm using, and I don't see any reason at the moment to go to multiple screens, or although I could do it with the card. So what I ended up doing is I was looking around on the different websites for video cards, and actually the website that had the best deal at this moment in time was B&H. I don't know what B&H stands for. It's B&H Photo out of New York City. And, yeah, I mean, this is their logo. And, they got really good tech support. And, what's really nice about it is if it's over $45, it's free shipping. And they expedite it. And that's really cool. I ordered this video card yesterday, and I got it today. They have, of course, a lot of photography equipment. I mean, I think that's what they started with. But they also sell a great deal more of computer components. They have quite a big supply of different kinds of things, though. That's actually where I got my light package from. And I've gotten quite a few different things from them. I've had some issues. Their return policy, they're good about their return policy, but it's not as good as Amazon, because when you return something with Amazon, once they see it in the tracking system, Amazon usually refunds your money. This one here, they had to have it in their hands. And I can see why, because people probably rip them off otherwise. But meanwhile, they're holding onto your money, and that part was a little fuzzy. So if you want to return it and then turn around and buy a replacement, they're gonna sit on it for a few days. It might be a week. I ended up returning memory that didn't work, probably with my own issue with that, or I didn't choose the right memory for my laptop, and I returned it, and it took a week. It took more than a week to get the refund processed. So yeah. So they had a sale when I was poking around and looking at everybody's sites. Egghead, Amazon, eBay, just plain searches. I'm kind of partial towards the EVGA cards. So, I mean, there's probably other cards out there, but that was the one I feel most comfortable with. Those are the ones I've been using all along. Not that I've used a lot of cards, but you just go with what you trust, and if their return policy and support are supposed to be really good. So I ended up getting a 1050 Ti. And the reason why was because it was at the right price. I was working off of my PayPal balance, and I had just recently bought another ADATA 1 terabyte drive, which is really useful with moving things around. So this one here is a 4 gigabyte, the DDR5 memory card. It's not one of their latest and greatest, but it's a good card, and it's 4 gigabytes. 8 gigabytes would be nicer, but I'm not a gamer, and that's really the deciding thing is about gaming. So what I wanted to do was upgrade the card on my system, just in case it matters and helps with doing editing and running my multiple screens. I think about maybe adding a third screen. The screen over here, this is a fairly small one. I think it's maybe 17-inch screen, and I've had it for quite a long time. But it's hard to edit on it. This one over here, it's not a monitor, it's a TV screen, so editing on it is a little funky. Plus it's over there, and it's really kind of hard for me to work over there. I really like working right here. This is my sweet spot. And you know, when you're doing editing, you're moving things around and you want to be able to zip in onto what you're working on. It's good to have it, good to be comfortable. So I'm thinking about adding, you know, a little bit larger monitor and it be a monitor right there. I could take this one and I could move it over one. Or I could use it somewhere else, but I don't really have a use for it at the moment. And I'm not sure if 3 monitors is going to be useful to me either. But there are times when having more space. Now that I've been using 2 monitors, I can see why a 3rd monitor would be useful. And I'm thinking about learning Adobe Premiere editing video software at home. I have a couple of ideas. One idea is to buy a used iMac that I could do Final Cut at home. A lot of stuff has to do with how well where I end up with this healing process with my feet and stuff. My oxygen tank, I only have about 5 hours on the tank, and it's, you know, when your health starts interfering with things you enjoy, it's annoying. So, you know, I've been looking at used iMacs and using something like that so I can still use Final Cut, or using something more sophisticated like Adobe Premiere so that I can do my multi-camera edits, which I don't have, you know, a lot of availability on the cheaper editing programs. So at any rate, long story short, from wherever I was before, this particular board has the 4 gigs of RAM on it, and it's a good card. A lot of people like this card. If you're, you know, into games, of course you're going to want a 6 or an 8 or a 12 or whatever. But 4 gigabytes is a pretty decent price to end up at. And this one was $167. You know, when the coin thing was going on, the Bitcoin, even a 4 gig card was hard to find, cheap. And now that the bottom has pretty much dropped out of, you know, private tier Bitcoin generator, now it's all gone to big mega centers that can have, you know, thousands of boards clicking away. The video card market has been coming down. You can pick up an 8 gig card for, you know, $350, which is amazing in itself. Maybe even $300, a new one of these, you know, not one of those really cheap knockoff China products. So I'm going to take this card and I'm going to install it in this computer, and then I'm going to take that card and move it over and put it into the other computer and see how I do for quality in there, and it should be better. I mean, I can't imagine why it wouldn't be. And I'll probably just update it in the comments instead of doing it. I really can't really show it to you anyway in particular, because I could set up a camera in front of the video, but you know, it's kind of a goofy way of doing it. And I'm probably not going to show you me changing the card in a video, because you can watch hundreds of videos. Go on Gary Coleman's I have forgotten his name. You get on my case about forgetting his name. Dead air, dead air. Gary Holzman, and I've certainly referenced him enough times on my channels. And he will show you how to install a video card if you're confused about it. But it's pretty simple if you do anything with computers. You already know what I'm talking about. So the EVA, it says super clocked, whatever. A good rule of thumb is don't overclock your your GPU, which is your graphics card, or even your CPU in your computer. You don't really need to, and there's no point burning it out. So I could you see it's not used because the plastic is intact. So I'm kind of psyched about this. That's it. Give you a book and some drivers. In case you want to learn how to speak a video card in all languages of the world, that would be the usefulness about the book. Installing multiple cards. So they give you a pretty big book, but there's only a few pages in English. And then you get, drivers. Now I already have EVA loaded on the computer, so guess it's a one-size-fits-all bag. There you go. They have a cover over the fin, the circuit board. It's a single card. I mean, it's a single fan. Got this piece of plastic over it. You want to make sure you take it off. You don't want that inside the machine because it's going to fall off when it's inside your computer. It's taking up 2 slots. And it's got an HDMI. And it has a display port. Which I don't really know the advantages of the display port over the HMI. I suppose it all has to do with what you're. And then I have a DVI port. So my monitor, this one here in front of me, runs off the DVI slot, and then I have an HDMI port for the TV. And I don't see a fan power plug. Usually there's a plug for another fan, but I don't see that in here. So I guess we don't need one. Must get all this power off of the bus. So I'll get that installed in there, and I'll leave some comments in the comment section so that I don't have to do another video, because I'm not going to, you know, show the video of the screen. And we'll see how that works. So there you go. Have a wonderful day out there. It is a whopping 27 degrees today. We're having a heat wave. It's been cloudy all day. Yesterday it was beautiful skies, but we were at 14, and it's been going down to 5 at night. So we're supposed to get some snow this weekend, and giving us all kinds of predictions about what we're going to get. So we'll just see how we do. So, happy trucking, digging some dirt, have fun. Do 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 do.